Hi Parth,
Hi sir.
how's the Josh?
As always, the Josh is high.
Please highlight some of your achievements.
Yeah. So in the 12th standard board examinations in the commerce stream, I have emerged as the state topper and all India rank 6th across all streams, and I have received 98.8 percentage overall with 100 in accounts and business studies, a 99 in mathematics and economics, and 96 in English.
Please tell me the simplest way to achieve this.
Well, join Siddharth.
Please guide us the way through your success and tell us some key success factors.
Talking about business studies, people call it a theoretical subject, but I disagree. I think that in fact it is one of the most practical subjects because you can connect it with the real life and you can understand it in real life terms. The reference books in business studies are all quite good, but what I have to very strongly recommend is that you should make NCERT your Bible, and I think it is most important to understand and to attend all the classes, because until you do that your concepts will not be clear, and if you do that the content and the language which is required in the examination will not be, you will not have to memorize it, it will automatically be the language that you write, because if you think in those terms and if you learn in those terms you will automatically write in those terms and you will get amazing marks. And I think it is important to realize that if you get good marks, the only reason why that can happen is because you have practice, and in this case I am talking about writing practice, and for that I suggest that you should do good practice of previous year papers. Why? Because it, and even in fact not just previous year papers, you can take up any paper, because that will give you exposure to various question types. You will think that the board may ask you only direct question, it will ask you definitions. That is not at all the case. The board examination is a very practical, it is a very application based examination, and in this context cracking the case studies becomes one of the most important things to answer, because until you identify the concept that is being asked you cannot attempt the rest of the question, which is about the details of that concept. And there is, I assure you, you might think that the case studies are quite random, but there is a very simple golden principle to cracking them, which I am sure even you can learn. And talking about the board examinations, I think the simplest mantra is to entice your examiner to give you marks. He will not lose anything if you gives you marks, but for that you need to demand those marks for him, and you need to make a strong appeal to him to give you those marks. How can you do that? You can do that by writing to the point but giving very sufficient explanation, by presenting your paper in a very neat and tidy way so it is easier for him to read, and by using side headings so that he knows that you at least know that you have the rough idea, you have the skeleton of the answer, and inside the answer if he sees your content is appropriate, he will definitely give you the full marks for that question. And if you carry this across all questions, there is no stopping you from getting the 100 that you want. And another thing that you need to know is that if you understand the question, you should plan it accordingly. I think that the 15 minutes of the reading time can be much more important than even the 3 hours of the writing time. Why? Because in the reading time, if you are able to gauge the paper well and you can plan it accordingly, then the writing time, your efficiency and your effectiveness in the writing time becomes much higher, and you can definitely get that coveted full score of 100 marks. Thank you.
Parth, let me tell you one thing.
Yes sir.
Even before you attempted your paper, my expectation was 100 on 100 from you. Tell me, what was your expectation after you attempted the paper?
Well, to be honest, I did expect 100, but because I wanted it from the very first day,